We spent millions and hired hundreds of people in our last business. This time around, we're getting completely different results hiring, and it's down to this one key change that we made, right? So in our last business, Realbase, we had over 400 people. We multi-million-dollar payroll. We calculated the other day, it was like over 15 million. Now in ClipFlow, the second time round, we have 18 members so far. We're growing payroll, and we are implementing our plan. So this is called the Setup for Success playbook. So the first 90 days are the most expensive payroll you're ever going to pay. If you blow that window and every dollar, every hour, every ounce of trust is gone. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 3-step 90-day onboarding plan that flips those fully loaded costs into an investment and turns every new hire into a high performer fast. So instead of burning cash and credibility on failed hires, you can start building a team that actually scales with you rather than against you, and finally lead like the founder that your business deserves. Ouch, that hurts. Anyway, let's go. If you don't want to, throw money in the bin, right? So this is usually what it looks like. You hire someone day one, they get to here, they're not doing what you want them to do, and you start over with less because you've now wasted time and money and you haven't even gotten to the 90-day mark, right? So what does it cost us? Well, it costs a lot more than what we usually think, right? So this is the hidden cost of the failed hires. So what are you really losing when a new hire doesn't work out? Is it just the salary, or is it something far more expensive? So every day you spend onboarding is either burning money or building return on investment. You have to choose which one. And there's no real neutral ground here. Fully loaded costs stack quickly. So we've got recruiting, interviews, training, and opportunity costs, which is one of the things you just don't want to lose of your own attention, right? So you could have been doing something way more valuable than this. And when they leave, you're not just starting over, you're compounding the loss by paying twice for the same role without any results, because people don't really become valuable in a business for a while. And how do we get them there as fast as possible? Now, look, we're not exaggerating that, because some high performers cost a lot of money, and every day they sit around, they're expensive. So even look at the new Meta hires, they cost hundreds of millions of dollars. They cost a lot per hour. So one bad hire makes the whole team sad. This is a fact. You don't want to bring in low performers into a high-performing team, because it actually ends up impacting the high performers. We just want a high-performing team. That's what we want to work on in our businesses. So recruiting, interviews, training, correcting, and then knowledge transfer are all the things we really want to nail when onboarding new team members, especially in the creative space as well. So there's two paths: either burning cash and leaving the business, or we're getting return on our investment, right? That's what we want to do. So what are we going to cover here today? We are going to look at why it matters. Why does this even matter? Why are you even watching this? The system to fix it. Is it right for you? How to test what you need, and why you don't have time to not do this, especially if you're trying to run a real business. Now, why are these the most important 3 months? They're either make or break. So every dollar an hour you invest into a new hire is on the line within the first 3 months. What happens if you get though wrong and you don't actually execute on that? How do you know if you're setting someone up to succeed or fail before they even have a chance? It's a little bit of, spoil it for you, it's a little bit of work in the front. So those first 90 days are the most expensive payroll you ever pay, like we said, but most founders just treat them as business as usual. It's just, you hire them, you put them in, and you just let them be. And somehow we expect that everything's going to just work out. And look, don't get me wrong, there are some unicorns out there that you can do that, but generally you're going to need to give some guidance. So when you burn that window, you're not just going to lose cash, but trust and momentum with your existing team. So even if that person's gone, you're still going to have made a bad decision that's going to reflect, and everyone's going to see that happen. And the compounding effect of a failed hire in this period can set back entire projects and client relationships. So this is super key. If you are working with clients and you're putting people into your team that then fumble, you have to come and clean up. So this is why it's important to keep moving forward. So there is a solution to the problem, which is what we have discovered this time around. And there's you just put in a system. Right? We're big believers in systems and processes. So how do you avoid turning the first 3 months into a money pit? Is there a way to make sure every hire pays back the investment fast? So what we've seen and what we've done is that most onboarding relies on vague expectations, leaving new hires guessing what success looks like. So they come in and say, what do you want me to do? It's like, oh, this. And you say it in like a sentence, they forget. They're not reinforced. Without a clear roadmap, early performance becomes reactive instead of strategic. It's like, you're doing that wrong. Do this instead. This is what you should have been doing. How are they meant to know? You need a simple, repeatable process that sets the bar for every role from day one, right? What do we expect of you from day one? And what does that look like in the long term? So we built a 90-day plan, a clear outline of expectations, initiatives, and success markers for every new hire's first quarter, and it's transformed our results. It really has. We've also included some resources that you can download in the links below to help you set yourself up in a way and kind of does a little bit of the work for you so you don't have to do it from scratch. So expectations plus what success looks like gets downloaded into their brain. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Now, will it work for agile businesses? What do I mean? What is that? That's when you're a startup, when you're a business that is probably quite reactive in how you work, and roles change consistently. Because in the beginning of a startup, you've heard the term, you wear many hats and you just keep doing a lot of stuff. You're trying to stay flexy here. But what happens when the job itself is a moving target? Can the 90-day plan still hold up when priorities shift? We think so. So fast-growing businesses like ours, probably like yours, live in a constant state of change. So roles change faster than you can rewrite the job description. And without an anchor, new hires can lose focus entirely when the scope shifts, right? So this is why it's important to have these anchors. You need a system that stays relevant even when the day-to-day looks nothing like the plan you wrote. So even when the scope shifts or priorities change, the 90-day plan gives every hire a foundation to fall back on so they always know what success looks like. So in our business, like we even hired like a software engineer here at Clipflow. We wrote out the 90-day plan and it was all about systems and tech. But then within even a month, we shifted all our focus to marketing. But our 90-day plan kind of outlined key expectations that we wanted. It's like, you need to be able to, like one of them was, we need to be able to give instruction and then you run without us having to constantly give you more detail. So you have to go out and seek the resources and the knowledge yourself. That's an expectation in the 90 days. With that kind of expectation, regardless of the actual work that's being done, they still have a foundation and know how to operate, how to get information, right? So do you know what you need? This is very key. And this is the leadership test that most founders fail. So the harsh reality is that if you can't write a new hire's first 90 days, are you really ready to bring them on at all? You need to understand why you're getting this person and what is it as a big picture they are here to do. So hiring without clarity isn't just risky, it's a sign you don't understand the role you're trying to fill. Unclear expectations force new hires to build their own roadmap. Super dangerous, which almost always misaligns with your vision. Because we have a vision as founders of what we want the business to become. We need to be able to communicate that. And we need to let people understand how they fit into that so they can move forward and actually deliver the most value. And a founder who can't define success in 90 days is a founder who's about to waste months of payroll. It's just a fact. You can't actually tell the person from day one. Honestly, I am guilty of this. We've admitted it. We've done this mistake. We're just trying to help you this time around learn from our mistakes so that you don't have to do them again. And if you can't figure out what a new hire's first 90 days should look like, you're not ready to hire them. Just take a step back, think about it. It's going to give you clarity. It's probably going to help you hire better anyway, because you're going to know exactly what you're looking for, because you're not clear enough with the role to begin with. And I think this is key, and it's like kind of onto my point that I just said earlier with our software engineers. We knew why we wanted them was to help us move fast in developing certain things that you need engineers for. And it's not specific features. It's like a role. It's a way of thinking. That's what we needed. We needed a critical thinker who could adapt. So that's what we were looking for, because we knew we couldn't provide structure in the beginning. We know that we don't have like corporate structure yet. It's not there and there's no real governance. It's like we are looking for people who can operate on their own with very minimal guidance. So that becomes kind of part of your 90-day plan. It's telling them and communicating that with them and giving them guardrails so that they know where they can operate within. And also like helping them define success. So, side note, an absolute superstar you weren't expecting to hire might break this rule. That's very true. One of those things, like I said earlier, is if you find a unicorn and you pay good money, you're going to find people that need to operate on very little guidance. So this just happens. The more intelligent the person is, and the more experience they have in a specific role, the less information you need to give them. You can say to someone who's an expert marketer, get us more leads. And that's it. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say, get us more leads by building a website, a lead funnel, this. And the lower down that chain you go, the more detail you need to provide, the more guardrails. So it depends where you're hiring. Now, this is classic because this is true for most founders, but I don't have time. And how quick is it to actually implement? And we think you don't have time to not do this, right? Don't be these blokes over here pushing this thing with the rectangle wheels, not even friggin' square, while old mates here got the wheels for you, right? So what we're offering is you give away 2 hours of your time and you save thousands of dollars. I think that's a pretty good thing here. So is it practical to implement a 90-day plan? And how long does it take? Founders usually avoid structured onboarding because they think it could take days. It doesn't take days. It takes a couple of hours. The opportunity cost of delaying is massive. So every week without clarity burns cash and time. Now, it depends on the role, obviously, how much money you're spending. But just a couple of weeks at a high-paying role can cost you a lot of money. I promise you that. I know that from experience. And you need a system that pays off in hours, not weeks, and can scale with every hire. So we've seen it takes about 2 hours to write and review a 90-day plan. Obviously, you're leveraging LLMs and you're using the tools that are available to you as of today. And the impact that it has on performance and retention is dramatic. Another thing that I can just add here too from our story is that once you do this for your top level, so generally you hire like top level down, like you're going to implement. So we hired a head of content first. What you see is you transfer these skills to them. They then write the 90-day plan. So it's not just always a founder role. We review those, but you pass the baton on. So you're like, this is the expectation we set for you. Now you set those expectations for your team as well. So it also helps them formulate exactly why they hired that role. Why do we take on this editor? What do we expect of them? What are their goals? It's a very interesting way. So you do it once for your top levels and then that gets passed down. It's very, very nice flywheel. So what's the final result? The final result is the big payoff here, right? So what's the difference when you get it right and when you get it wrong? What happens to your team, the bottom line, when every hire's first days are dialed in? So instead of bleeding money on failed hires, you start compounding value from day one. Every onboarding dollar flips from expense to investment. There's a big difference here. And your team grows not just in numbers, but in confidence, alignment, and in speed. Because by setting up, everyone has a 90-day plan, you've now created structure so that everyone's pulling in the same direction. Super key. Instead of burning your cash and your credibility amongst your team on failed hires, a 90-day plan flips every onboarding into an investment and turns them into high performers. That's what we want. It also quickly reveals if the new hire has the ability to actually deliver real value to the business so you can move them on quickly if required. I think this is also a key point or a byproduct of it. If you set clear expectations and someone doesn't hit them, it's very easy to talk about them. Say, these were the expectations, or this is the expectation, this is what's happening. You're not attacking them, you're just saying, this is what we expected and we all agreed to in the beginning when we were onboarding, and this is what's actually being delivered. There's a disconnect. How do we get you to here? And if you can't get to here, maybe it's time to call it quits. It just makes it much cleaner, much clearer. There's no like arguing or like what you said or what I said. It's in black and white. It's in writing. We went through it on day one. So it's very key to do that. So the 90-day plan is something you work on prior to hiring. You discuss while hiring or interviewing. And then when they join your team, you sit down on day one and you discuss. Then what you do is you take that and you go every couple of weeks, probably fortnight, and then a month, and you do check-ins. So you do probably 2-week check-in, 30-day check-in, 60-day check-in, 90-day check-in. And you can see how we're tracking. We can see what needs to be adjusted because we're agile. We need to be able to figure out what are we not hitting? Why is that? Is it because something else has taken priority? It sets very clear goals and expectations. So when you get it right, you end up with a dream team, faster time to value, lower costs of onboarding, clear expectations, and helps you find mismatches faster. And I think that's a massive win for everyone. So we've created some resources that you can download to help you actually structure this. Like I said before, download those, chuck in your roles, see how we've structured it, and have a go implementing and see how it works for your business. We reckon it's going to work really well. And yeah, put it in place and reap the rewards. So until next time, catch you on the next one.